My name is Lucas Wiley, and this is the biggest hit of all. My father has been a college football coach for over 27 years, from App State to East Carolina and now Western Carolina. So I've grown up around the sport, and I love it. The atmosphere, the skill sets, the competition, you could basically say I live for Saturdays in the fall. This love has grown from over 16 years of witnessing practices and games firsthand, feeling invested in the team as we rush the field after a big win, but also as we face the disappointment of a bitter defeat. This exposure has heightened my appreciation of the game, but it has also heightened my awareness to the fact that NCAA and member universities are exploiting college football student athletes to an extreme degree. This exploitation issue is a very common occurrence throughout capitalistic America, where big money, in this case the NCAA, makes an enormous profit on underpaid workers, the college football student athletes. These student athletes are risking their livelihoods in order for an organization that barely supports their needs to bring in money, sometimes north of $800 million a year. This specific example is particularly alarming because of the huge discrepancy between revenue and salary paid and the danger the student athletes are subjected to daily. Most college football players are given a full scholarship, which covers the entire cost of attendance. The argument of the past is that these student athletes are provided with this free education, which is extremely valuable, and that is all the payment that they need. This argument has some merit, but is largely antiquated. The reason for this is that the amount of revenue that football players generate has grown exponentially, while the monetary value of a four-year education has remained relatively constant. In 10 years, from 2003 to 2013, average college football revenue has grown over $1.8 billion, according to the Department of Education, who also reported that in that same time period, the average cost of attendance for a four-year university has only grown about $10,000. The extreme growth of an entire industry is not affecting those who were catalysts for the growth in the first place. However unjust that may be, the most dangerous part of this twisted relationship is the severe ramifications that the game of football has on each individual player. A study by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found that the average football player takes over 1,500 head impact exposures each season. Over the course of a four-year career, that adds up to over 6,000 hits directly to an athlete's head. In another study by the Boston University School of Medicine, 91% of former college football players had developed chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease that results from repeated subconcussive blows to the head. It causes depression, emotional instability, and it's associated with an extremely high rate of suicide. Yet, college football players do not receive adequate monetary compensation for literally laying their lives on the line every time they put on that helmet and step onto the football field. It is shocking to think these players that we cheer on are sacrificing so much more than their bodies, but their entire future. The NCAA has mastered the art of exploitation. The players that I grew up around, that I enjoyed witnessing compete, were sacrificing their bodies and their future every time they stood on the field, all for the monetary gain of an outside organization. The NCAA is at fault, but it is very unlikely to change their ways by themselves. For change to take place, the driving factor behind this organization must be threatened, and that's money. So how can we get their attention? A simple boycott emphasizing the need for payment to student athletes is the best way that I can think of. One of the biggest ways that revenue is generated is through ticket sales to watch college football games and also through TV contracts. If we refuse to attend or watch college football games, therefore depriving the NCAA of revenue, a change will take place. While this is a drastic measure, it is what is needed to address this problem. If the message is communicated accurately, the NCAA will recognize that the only way for them to keep their precious cash flow is to redistribute a fair portion of it to those who sacrifice so much to generate it, the college football players.